A killer who brutally stabbed a young man to death on a petrol station forecourt has been found guilty of murder. 26-year-old Mohammed died after being stabbed 16 times with a machete at the fuel station in Meadow Lane, Nottingham, on the 31st of January 2024. Police launched a manhunt and tracked down the killer, Majid, after analysis of CCTV footage. When he was arrested, Majid was found to have a small wound on his right knee. Although he claimed the injury was from a fall, detectives used CCTV from the incident to show how he had sustained the injury during his attack on Mr. Khan. Majid denied murder, but was found guilty after a trial at Nottingham Crown Court, which began on the 12th of August and concluded yesterday, Wednesday. The 22-year-old, of Wilford Crescent East, will be sentenced on a future date. Mr. Khan and a friend had spent the day of the 31st of January dropping off relatives at Gatwick Airport. They returned to Nottingham that afternoon and were going to buy food when they stopped for fuel at the garage around 6:15 p.m. As the driver, Mr. Khan's friend, filled up the car, a man swinging a large blade and wearing a black hooded coat with his face covered ran onto the forecourt. The driver jumped out of the way as the attacker then opened the driver's door and made stabbing motions towards Mr. Khan. He sat in the front passenger seat. When Mr. Khan got out of the car, the knife man made his way around the vehicle and launched a sustained attack. Mr. Khan fought back, but fell to the floor and was stabbed 16 times in total. He was helped by members of the public and treated by paramedics, but despite their best efforts, Mr. Khan was pronounced dead at the scene around 6:50 p.m. Detectives discovered from CCTV footage that the Ford Focus car Majid was traveling in had passed the vehicle Mr. Khan was in moments before the attack. The Focus did a U-turn in the road and followed the other car before parking up in Holmes Street. After the attack, Majid returned to the waiting car and it departed along Meadow Lane towards the Meadows. Majid was identified as a suspect and arrested early the following morning on suspicion of murder. Detective Inspector Kaz Smithson of Nottinghamshire Police said, "This was a tragic incident in which a young man with a bright future lost his life in the most brutal, public, and senseless manner. The car Majid was in performed a U-turn in the road, seemingly after he spotted Mr. Khan by chance entering the petrol station. It was a busy forecourt next to a main road through the city. As members of the public looked on, Majid launched a frenzied and sustained knife attack on Mr. Khan. The level of violence displayed was horrific, and he can expect to be locked up for a very long time to come. I would like to thank Mr. Khan's family for their dignity throughout the court proceedings. We will continue to support them in any way we can as they rebuild their lives."